tease Miles Morales and say that Miles Morales is going to be in the game too? Is he going to be a playable character? Maybe. I mean, there's still so much we don't know, but I'm so much more excited about the stuff that we don't know from Spider-Man than I am excited about the stuff that we don't know about Sea of Thieves.
So I'm not changing my mind. Brogan, you're on Spider-Man. You got to convince Blev to switch because right now it's 1-1. I know you said originally Spider-Man. I don't know.
Now after you saying that, like, just playing a co-op game that's dependent on other people that you might not know, like playing with your friends is one thing, but how many of us play? I don't even know how many people can actually play on Sea of Thieves at once.
I think it's 4 people per
So
ship.
4. So like how many of us have like a group of friends that consistently play a game? You know, you might have one or two, but that's like PC.
Yeah.
PC are very
and that's Dota.
Yeah, but PC is very deliberate when you play with a group of friends because you know that they're always going to go on a specific time. You've planned this out forever. On console, people are like, yeah, dude, I'm getting on. I'll play. And then you maybe like one person gets on, and you're like, okay, well now we have to play with 2 other people that we don't even know. We're gonna have to try on game chat and try to convince them not to be assals and fuck something up.
Exactly.
So you switching your vote?
I don't know. Now, so it's really tough for
make
me.
a decision.
But no, you guys have like last opening argument right now of why I should switch to one or the other. And
right.
you're probably gonna go Spider-Man, and you're probably gonna go Sea of Thieves. So I want to hear it and convince me.
All right, you go ahead.
Spider-Man let you down, and their sad faces.
Sad faces.
I can't believe this is coming from the biggest Spider-Man fan I know. I will say that the studio behind Spider-Man is Insomniac, right? Insomniac Studios, who has not let us down yet. Their games have been incredible. So this
What are
is
some titles they've
Ratchet and Clank. God,
it's a favorite.
What the hell? Give me some Insomniac.
We don't have time for this. You don't get to research your shit.
There's a lot. There's a lot of games Insomniac has done.
I didn't get to research my shit with my frowny face.
They did Infamous. Infamous.
Okay, now
Infamous Second Son. Now
Sony also did Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. They're all shit.
Yeah. All right. but they had they were movie tie-ins.
Don't forget there was Spider-Man 3. Did you see that movie? It was garbage.
It was garbage, yeah.
They resisted the urge.
Tobey Maguire.
They resisted the urge enough to not make it a movie tie-in. So they had belief that the engine was going to work well to be its own standalone experience.
Sea of Thieves doesn't have a tie-in to movie
I will
either.
not interrupt your finals, sir. Your final argument. But
This is
Pirates of the Caribbean. So I will say that
That's a good movie, though.
Given the pedigree of the studio that's producing this game and knowing that they didn't feel that it was necessary to tie it to the movie that's coming out this year and they feel like it can stand on its own, it's got the same kind of magic that the Batman Arkham games had, which are arguably, unbiasedly, even from a huge Batman fan, some of the best games that have come out in the last 10 years.
I would Spider-Man.
You son of a bitch. All right.
Yes.
No,
Spider-Man.
it has so many open
okay.
avenues.
No.
now of thought.
I'm not. So it doesn't hurt my feelings.
I know. I don't really
because
care.
They're so close. You don't care. So Anthem and God of War, in my opinion, I think that's hands
God of
down. Wow, I say Anthem.
I gotta say Anthem too.
For real?
You ain't gonna change my mind. So
Now,
if you
okay.
can change his mind,
I am swayable on this for sure. Because
So when you think of PlayStation, what are some of the biggest titles that have been released for PlayStation?
God of War is one.
God of War is probably hands down one of the biggest title releases specifically for PlayStation.
Talk to this guy.
You know, so I would say from a revamp standpoint and the way they're moving with Kratos and his son, this series has a lot of different avenues they can fall down into. You know, to me, Anthem looks like another reboot of Halo, reboot of Titanfall, all these different things, reboot of like Call of Duty, jump packs and all this shit. Even though you're in a different environment, different world, I would still lean towards heavily because God of War, you know God of War. You've seen God of War, but now you don't know what's going to happen in God of War with his son. You don't know what's the basis of that storyline. But Anthem, you probably know. You're going to explore a planet, and you're going to go explore, see some aliens, kill some things. Cool. But in God of War, you really don't know.
My turn. You remember those javelins shooting those missiles in the air and blowing up those guys in that amazing environment?
this is how you're going to convince me it's not Anthem?
Do you remember that? You remember that Anthem trailer?
Yeah.
You remember it, right?
Yes.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
I'll say storyline-wise, I feel like God of War is
I don't know.
far
I
superior.
can't tell you Anthem's storyline.
Now,
I'm just saying from a premise of a 100-foot view, you know, thinking of that point.
That's all I got to say. Drops the mic.
All right. So I came into this whole discussion expecting to give Anthem my game of the show. I really did. I honestly thought like that was the thing that I got the most hyped about throughout the entire show. I'm trying so here's my only hesitation with Anthem is that there's a lot that's unknown. We saw a really cool gameplay demo, right? But we've seen really cool gameplay demos for games in the past that didn't end up being that cool. I'm thinking of the Order 1886 for PlayStation, which had a great game. Actually, I kind of enjoyed that game, but I understand why it wasn't that great of a game, ultimately. So we've seen great E3 showings that haven't panned out to be really great. It's the same argument that I had for PlayStation probably, and to side with Blev, it's the same argument that I had for Sony, is that Sony understands their license and what they have here.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about Anthem, who is made by BioWare, who just made Mass Effect Andromeda, one of the biggest flubs of the year. Now, obviously, they had their A team working on Anthem, and they had their B team working on...
Well, how can you say that if Spider-Man dropped all those fucking terrible games?
Because it's not the same studio. It's a totally different studio. This is BioWare that is responsible for Mass Effect. But again, it's not the same BioWare team. There's like BioWare Montreal and BioWare
for sure.
blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
and I get that.
So damn. This is a really, really hard one for me. Like, I want to... I'm gonna give it to Anthem, and here's the only reason. I'll say that I just didn't like any other God of War games. Like, I never got into those specifically. Yeah. Now, this one's got me way more piqued and interested than any of the other ones have in the past, just because of how beautiful it looks, and, like, they're going a little bit more gritty, and it looks like they're giving Kratos, like, more of a soul, and you know what I mean? Like, that's interesting to me.
More in-depth look into who Kratos actually is.
But I just don't have, like, I don't have that, like, prior experience with the series to really... This is so selfish, but I just don't know or care about Kratos right now. I'm sure I will after this game comes out.
All right. Anthem for the win.
We'll see what happens.
So since it was a 6-bracket tournament, Odyssey automatically goes to the championship. So Spider-Man, Anthem.
Man,
Spider-Man is a 5 seed. Anthem is a
Reads his own writing.
4. 4 seed. It's a 4. It's a 4.
All right.
No, to me, Anthem looks like every other game I've seen so far. Like you're exploring, you're shooting things, and you're blowing up shit like Halo and like Call of Duty. Like, to me, like Spider-Man, since what you were saying before, it's from a new studio, has a potential to be a really kick-ass game, even though they've had flubs before, But to me, I would still pick Spider-Man because it's still a better unknown than Anthem, in my opinion.
My vote is Spider-Man.
You guys. I think Anthem is hands down.
I think Anthem could be really cool, but there is still too much we don't know about it. Blev is right. Like, it did feel a little bit like Destiny meets Titanfall.
Meets Call of Duty jetpacks. And
I just want to say I hope your children don't learn to read till 3rd grade. Next is Odyssey versus Spider-Man. Which is around the time you learn to read, right? Anyways, Odyssey number 1, Spider-Man number... Yep.
Okay. Well numbered.
So here's I'm going to go with Odyssey based off. So Odyssey, if it was ended up being Odyssey and Anthem, I would actually struggle with that one. Odyssey looked amazing, and then if you even see the after content after E3, Odyssey even looks way better. I cannot. When Odyssey looks fantastic and Spider-Man is an unknown when you saw that gameplay, and to me, I look at it, I'm like, dude, that could be garbage. Not because the past games look bad. It's like you could be funneled into something, and majority of the game could be like, oh, it looks like I can jump from table and act like a spider and catch this thing. The way mechanics of games work, that could be bad. It could be good. That could be bad, though. It could be overwhelmingly numerous, and then the fighting could be button mashing. Not sequential and graceful. It could be button mashing. We didn't get to see that. So based off that trailer and that trailer alone versus the Odyssey trailer, and then the amazing things I saw with Odyssey, and even the after stuff I saw was Odyssey, because Spider-Man only has that one trailer, if I believe so. I think Odyssey hands down beats Spider-Man. Yeah, I did this. But
what'd you do?
I slipped my hands.
A lot of wrist work.
A lot of wrist work here.
Wrist work
between Odyssey and Anthem, that would have been a tough call. But since it's Odyssey and Spider-Man, I think it's hands down Odyssey.
I'm really split on this one. I'm going to tell you why. Because sitting here right now, if you were waving those two games in front of me and like Spider-Man. what am I more excited to play? Like, if I had the opportunity to play, like, what am I most looking forward to? It's Spider-Man. You're right. There's so much unknown to it. But fuck, I want to swing around New York City as Spider-Man way more than I want to run around New Donk City as Mario.
God, where are you
and
at,
change
buddy?
into like a fire hydrant or a T-Rex or a car.
Which is probably great. I'm
not saying it's
so
bad.
Fun.
I'm just saying my only worry is that whenever I think about Mario now, is the last Mario Party, and it's like, like, oh, okay, is Odyssey going to be that not that special as Mario Party? You know, and is it going to be repetitive in any way?
We have not been let down by a Super Mario game.
I know,
or a Nintendo first franchise game.
Well, I know. I'm just saying it could be repetitive.
Even Mario,
make me wanna stick to it, like
the water
Spider-Man,
one. What was the water one?
Mario Sunshine.
That was a fantastic game. It has never ever let you down since Super Mario to Super Mario 2, 3, Super Mario World, Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario Galaxy has never let Baby Brogan down.
This is coming from a guy who's not engulfed in Nintendo, you know. So this is like if this game, if I've never seen a PlayStation and I've never seen a Nintendo, and I saw these two games right in front of me, and I was like, which console am I going to buy for this specific game? I would probably lean heavily towards PlayStation for Spider-Man rather than Odyssey, because to me, it's a toss-up because that looks more like a kid genre than it does an adult genre.
If Spider-Man,
just because of me.
Spider-Man wins, this is like a 16 seed making the NCAA championship. I would have never picked Spider-Man.
I think God of War would beat Spider-Man, but that's me.
All right, so
yeah, I agree
think
too.
My vote, I got to go with my heart. I'm going to say Spider-Man. I know you're right. Wyatt, I know you're right. Like,
Can I put my 2 weeks in?
Yeah.
On this paper.
I know.
Next to this bracket.
Sign your name. Sign your name. Fuck this.
Look, I know. Let me just give my final thoughts here. Like, I know Mario is going to be awesome, and I trust Nintendo 100%. But if I'm just, like, talking like a video game fan that I am, like, I am so excited to be Spider-Man. Just as pumped as I was to be Batman in the Arkham series, like, I'm a comic book fan. I'm a superhero fan. I want to be Spider-Man, and this looks like a great opportunity to do that. It's going to be beautiful on the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's going to look amazing in 4K. It's going to be it's going to be a great time. Now, Mario's going to be hours and hours of fun. It's going to be a game that I play with my wife, just like we played Zelda, and it's going to be fantastic, and I can't wait for it. But I got to be honest with you, like, the game that I can't stop thinking about from this show is Spider-Man. Blev?
If we were his popper, well, he already voted.
No,
you guys are both dead.
He hasn't voted yet. I think you could sway him.
I didn't really vote yet. To me, in order me to get into Mario, you know, really hardcore Mario Odyssey is just actually being around people playing it. You know, to me, just to look at it from a 100 feet viewpoint, you know, I'm probably not going to go towards Odyssey. You know, I'll probably go more to Spider-Man. Just from what I know, you know. And I used to play Mario back in the day, and that was great. That's what got me into games. But so that makes me think like, oh, you know, it's just it's a child's game. It doesn't really involve a lot of like strategy or anything like that. So it just doesn't attract me that much, you know. And I'm not saying Spider-Man has a lot of strategy in it by any means, but this is just. And anyways, these are biased and subjective opinions, so it doesn't really. There's no weight to it. And I do love Spider-Man over Odyssey, but I don't know. And hearing what IGN has said about Odyssey and all these other outlets, like, so it just makes me like, it makes me want to try Odyssey just to see it or be around it when you guys are playing it to be like, you know what, maybe I want to jump into this game.
I still say like you don't even need to try it to know it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great. Like you know it's going to control perfectly. It's going to feel so
good. So why are
you
picking a maybe over a for sure?
Because I can't sit here and tell you that I like the property Mario more than I like the property Spider-Man.
So when you wake up in the morning, where are you going to play? Where are you going to jump to right away? You know, like you said, it's the experience of playing with your wife. You know, experience of playing with other people. You know, and having that fun time playing it. Or when you wake up in the morning and you're like a little kid and about to open a Christmas present or about to like do something really exciting. I lean towards more the Spider-Man of that feeling.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
So you pick Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I feel, first of all, if Buddy was here,
no, there would be
we would have
answered
never
this.
have gone through this entire
this.
breakfast. Number two, I feel like I let Buddy down.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain this to Buddy next week on the show.
I hope
he's hopefully listens.
All right, so
Buddy's gonna pull his hair out. He's gonna be bald next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the E3 2017 Hold On to Your Butts game of the show is Spider-Man.
I wrote Odyssey on accident.
Real quick,
Buddy
just,
was here.
just final thoughts. It doesn't look like we're going to have time for scenarios this week, boys. We'll have to do it next week. But just real quick, what were your personal games of the show? Like your personal games that if, you know, all things aside, you would pick. I'll start us out.
Okay.
My surprise game of the show, and honorable mention for me is Wolfenstein 2. I bought Wolfenstein, The New Order,
So we're
or
playing that on PC.
Fresh Blood, or something like that, earlier this year when it was on sale for $5 on Xbox. And having seen the trailer for Wolfenstein 2, I'm like, shit, I should go back and play that game. Like, I want to get involved in this story. It looks really, really, really cool, especially like this like alternate future where the Nazis took over America in the 60s.